Hello and welcome to a new Queer in D, where a bunch of us get together and we roll dice whenever we feel like it, pretty much, and whenever we have time to get together without life getting in the way. We're now on session number 57, which is a little bit crazy to begin with there. We've got a sort of stretch of sessions coming up for the next wee while before we take a wee bit of a break again. Just sort of like October kind of time. And yeah, it should be sort of good to sort of start getting into the meat of things to find out what is actually going on in this world, believe it or not. Just one kind of announcement really is that I have made a couple of updates to the website now. So you'll now be able to see Queen Eleanor Aria on our NPC page, and we also now have a new giving back page on the website. It's something I've been kind of working on and had in the sort of back burner for a little bit there, just to sort of honour Mick, I guess, and their legacy. So we have now got a giving back page where, if you want to, you can donate to the charity of their family's choice, in terms of sort of honouring their legacy and helping others in the process, which is always a nice boon. That's it in the way of announcements. So in terms of what happened last time, the group pretty much just fought a group of whites and a big wolf and got covered in ash in the process, and we've got to see a little bit of Reggie's wild magic. So we're going to jump right in, and we're going straight through this one with no break. But a bit of an abrupt ending, which apologies for, but people had to leave very, very quickly. But you'll kind of see that kind of when we get to it, and then we'll sort of pick up from that portion next time, which you should be able to see in about 2 weeks. So we'll see you there. So last time you guys left off, you just fought whites in the very punnily named Pretty Fly for a White Guy. And you guys did manage to complete your long rest because you were sort of interrupted halfway through your watches by said whites who very rudely turned into ash when they were killed and just covered you all in white ash. So you woke up the next morning and you guys are pretty much about ready to head out for your last 4-hour stint of your journey towards Ouverville.
Yep.
So anything you wanted to do before you guys head out? Or are you just ready to kind of go?
We're ready to go. We're ready to roll.
Alright, so I'm presuming it's the same sort of setup as before then? In terms of who's going with who and who's flying and all sorts?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Alright. Yeah. Reggie, I need a wild magic roll.
Yes. Hold on. Let's see which dice could use. That's a 6.
A 6? Alright.
Yep.
Was that one that you were okay on? I can't remember.
Yeah, 6 is fine.
Yeah, that's cool.
When I use my magic, it's either, depending on the DM, it's either a 1 or a 20.
Cool. Awesome. So it goes sort of without too much of an incident. You do sort of feel getting into the later kind of half of your 4-hour journey. The wind does start to pick up and it does sort of fight against you, so you feel like you might not get entirely all the way to Ouverville on the 4 hours, but you'll get close enough where maybe you've got like a half-hour walk or something to get the rest of the way, because you don't sort of land in the middle of the town anyway. So with your listening cuffs and things like that on, you're able to sort of signal to each other when the end of the 4-hour period is coming up, and you manage to land in a small kind of wooded area just about half an hour, 45 minutes walk from Ouverville.
Cool.
Ouverville. Ouverville.
So walking there, you can definitely tell that it's getting to the time of year where the weather is definitely not as nice as it was anyway when you first started out in your first journey all those kind of weeks and months ago. It's definitely getting a bit more drizzly, a bit more grey and overcast in the sky, much as it is here just now. And you do feel as though there's like a bit of a, entering into Ouverville, there's a bit of a damp sheen sort of coating like any exposed area, just with the sort of drizzle that came out of nowhere and persisted for the entire walk there.
Oh, fall is so nice. My favorite.
It is. It's beautiful.
So nice.
Going into Ouverville. 2 minutes, I need to unlock this again. This decides to lock itself every so often. So you guys sort of, with where you'd kind of landed, you're approaching it from a westerly kind of direction, I would say. So to get there, you do end up crossing over a bridge that goes over sort of the ending parts of a river. You can see that it's, for looking at it further up, downstream, upstream, whichever one it is, downstream, that it is a much larger river, and this is just it sort of slowly kind of petering out into like a bit of a small kind of stream as it comes in from the coastal area. So crossing over that bridge, you get your first kind of look at Ouverville. It's definitely a bit larger than some of the kind of towns that you had seen on your journey along the King's Road. Definitely much larger than those, but also at the same time definitely not the same kind of size as like Elan's or Cerithia. It's probably more of like a smaller kind of city than it would be sort of classed as like a large town. It's more along a sort of small city kind of size. So with your 4-hour kind of journey, I would say that you're probably kind of mid-afternoon at this point. Prime kind of check-in time for hotels and such. So it's up to you guys what you want to do first of all.
Do we want to set up lodgings first, or do we just want to head straight to the university?
Oh, we're going to the university? That's amazing.
Probably lodgings, I would think. Like first.
Okay.
Alright.
Whatever. Yeah.
Tix, roll a history check for me.
Which one of us?
Tix.
Oh, me. Oh,
Yeah.
boy. Okay.
Just because you're from
Sorry, I'm
nearer.
literally covered in cats right now. So many cats. So many cats. History. Not too bad. That's a 16.
Okay. I mean, you're from probably like a day, 2 days walk away from here, really. So you've probably been down this kind of direction in the past, or know of people who have been down here. So know a little bit of sort of what's around. In terms of lodgings, you can think of 4.
Okay.
You've got the lighthouse, which is sort of more to the north of the city, just outside of the city gates, in like a new sort of pop-up area, I guess you could call it, of the city as it kind of expands out. You've got the Barbarian Arms, which is in the Old District. You've got the Red Councillor over sort of in the Oak Mill District. And then you've also got the Golem and the Sturge Inn, which is over in Stormfire Gate. So it's up to you. Stormfire Gate's to the south, Oak Mill's sort of closer to where you guys are entering. Same with Old District, and then the new Ouverville kind of pop-up area is to the north.
Alright, so I'm making a note. This is a place that I have been before. So that means I know it because I have that recollection for geography. Also, this is a place I've been before, so I'm definitely not looking like myself.
Okay. What are you looking like?
Like I don't use any of my like I'm usually either the blue tiefling or the red-headed dwarf or myself.
Yeah.
And I'm not any of those three. I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go elf.
Okay.
Male elf. Kind of just
generic.
Short blonde hair.
Okay.
Tall, kind of willowy. Yeah, not like too outlandish or anything.
Yeah. Someone who'll fit in with the crowd. Cool.
Exactly. Right. Okay, so we have the barbarian arms, and are they all kind of a similar? Like, is one particularly divey or?
So the more divey out of all of them would more than likely be the one over in Stormfire Gate. I've put a map up for you guys if you wanted to kind of see the layout of it. So that's the Golem, and the Sturge Inn is down in that kind of area.
And that's like the diviest one? Well, let's not do the diviest one.
More so for the reason you would probably know this just from the general kind of area. Before the town kind of got to this size, probably about 200, 150 years prior or something like that, there was a dragon who kind of frequented the area and did lay waste to the entire town that was there at the time. So that's where Stormfire Gate's got its name, is because that was the gate to the town at the time where the fire ravaged.
Is there one of them that's sort of closer to the university area where we need to go?
Well, the university, I would say, is a big black square that's right in the middle. So the lighthouse, Barbarian Arms, or the Golem and Sturge Inn would probably be kind of like the closest there out of them all.
Alright, I'm gonna pick the Barbarian Arms. That sounds fun.
So that was the one that I said was in Old District?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So let me just see if I can put down, where's my little highlighter tool? And we'll kind of point to the general kind of area for where it is. So I would say that it's like this kind of, yeah, you can kind of see it there. So this kind of building here. Sort of looks tavern size, so we'll go with that one.
Perfect.
Barbarian Arms. Going over there, you can kind of either follow the main path going right the way down towards where the university is, or you can kind of take the little side road that comes off of it that goes sort of between where all the like kind of four main gates are to the city.
Well, I'm thinking just main drag. No need to
sightsee yet.
We can do that later.
Cool. So heading over there, this kind of section of the town does seem to be a little bit newer than maybe kind of what you'd seen in like Sarithia or Elan's. I wouldn't necessarily say that it's like sort of the old Tudor style of houses that you get, where it's like the paneling with like the plaster in between and stuff like that. As you're kind of walking through, you do see that all the buildings are made of stone in this city, and you can probably understand why, given the historical context that you have.
Yes. Harder to burn down stone buildings, even for dragons.
Precisely. I mean, they just kind of melt a bit more than they do kind of erupt into flame, so it's at least a little bit safer, I guess. So it does appear to be like a sort of 3-story building. This time in the afternoon it is a little bit quieter, but it's got like a large set of like double doors, windows kind of bracing out on each side, like large kind of bay window type things. They don't sort of follow it all the way up, but you see that each of the windows as you go further up the building do have like little flower boxes on the outside of them. So it kind of juxtaposes what you know of, like, or what you would expect for a place called Barbarian Arms.
Very quick.
Heading
This is lovely.
Yeah, I think it's this one I need. So yeah, heading in. You guys see there's a couple of patrons sitting in the sort of tavern area already. It does look relatively clean. Some of the like your shoes do stick like a little bit to the floor, but that's to kind of be expected for a tavern. But it's not like you're having to like forcibly lift them at all or anything, and it doesn't have the very strong kind of ale smell, which is a nice kind of change for you all. And you see that there's there's a couple of people who are behind the bar at this time. There's like 2 people. One of them's kind of going around getting drinks and things like that, and someone's behind the bar area with like a ledger book of sorts.
Alright, I'll walk up to the person with the ledger book.
Cool.
Up to the bar. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Any chance you might have a couple of vacancies, a couple of rooms that we could rent?
How many rooms are you looking for?
We can do 2.
Okay. I've got a couple of rooms available. I do have 2 rooms that are like more sort of single occupancy. I've got 1 room that will do 4 people, and I've got 1 room that will do 6 people.
Let's get the 1 room for 6 people.
Okay, that will be 3 gold then. It does include. It does include, given that it's sort of our penthouse kind of suite area. It does include all meals with it, as well as a bottle for your evening meal.
Meals in the room, or do we come down?
Either or.
Oh, I love it.
Room service. Room service, baby.
Alright, hands over the 3 gold, and he hands over a very nice kind of looking brass, like sort of skeleton key that looks a bit more ornate than sort of what you're kind of used to. His son's more of like they've kept the name of like an older pub that was there, but they've gentrified it.
Fair
It's
enough.
the best kind of way to explain it.
I love these boutique hotels. So nice.
Yeah. I mean, the art in here is even different. You notice that?
Yeah.
Yeah. The floor is not. It's sticky even. For a bar, you know?
I know.
I love it.
I made good choices.
Yeah.
I take the key.
Mm-hmm.
I just realized I need to make up a name. I'm Marshall, by the way. Marshall, it's a good name. I like it. And you are?
Talindra.
Talindra.
You're looking
Lovely
at this
name.
person now, you kind of, well, when you approached them, you obviously saw sort of what they looked like. They do appear to be more half-elven. Not quite as much of a point to the ears. So probably somewhere more in the realms of like between half-elf, quarter-elf, sort of in that sort of area. They do have sort of slick-backed hair that, if it was in our world, you would probably say that he would wear it as a man bun.
So this is the boutique / yoga retreat. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
But probably goat yoga.
Goat yoga.
Yeah.
I'm down.
As long as it's not a cult, we're fine.
As long as it's not what?
A cult.
A cult.
Yeah.
Well, yoga is a cult in itself a little bit.
White girl yoga, anyway. All right. So I assume we just head upstairs
Yep, you are on the top floor, and it will be room number 3 on the top floor.
On the 12th floor.
Top floor.
Oh,
Top.
I was like, it didn't look that tall from the outside, but you never know.
True.
Some things are bigger on the in than out.
That's what she said.
Well,
Alright, so heading up the flights of stairs. Surprisingly, none of the stairs creak.
This is a well-maintained establishment.
But also,
Place we've ever stayed at.
It's almost
It
nicer than our house.
it means that if we don't hear creaky floors, someone could like sneak in quite easily if this
Well,
floorboard's
we have to lay down some traps. Somebody a little
But
trap
it,
savvy.
but it also means we could sneak out if we have to.
Truly.
Oh, do you have someone that can lay traps?
Well, we
Not
used
anymore.
to.
We used to.
Oh.
I mean, she'll be back, but
Oh, I was gonna say, are they dead? Sorry.
no, she's not dead.
No.
No, not that.
Do you have any kind of contraption? No.
Oh,
Wow.
what? I mean, no. I can pretty much just hit people if they attack us.
All right. Well, at least we're all in one room.
That
you
has
know?
great
That's
value. We're all
good.
in one room.
Yeah,
It's
we'll
fine.
be fine. We'll be fine.
We'll be fine.
I'll just
No one can
just-
track my feet, my footprints, but that they can probably track yours. So.
But
Wow.
also, we haven't.
What? Wait, hold on.
Also, I would like to remind everyone we haven't done anything in this town that would make people want to
Well,
attack us
You
yet.
never know. I mean, it seems like we can seemingly do nothing
Um,
and have somebody attack.
I may know people here. I don't really remember. I don't really have anything in my journal. So
Never know.
Trust me, of all of us here, I am the one most likely to have anyone want to attack us here, and nobody knows I'm here, so we're fine.
Okay.
Well,
um,
I'm just gonna sleep against the door anyway.
There's beds for everyone. Sleep in a bed.
I'll take the mattress. And
We're
put
not
it-
sleeping yet anyway. We're gonna drive the mattress. Okay, I love you.
Whatever.
Do whatever you need
Let
to
me
do.
do
to
what I need to. It's
do
nice
whatever
to
you
lay-
need to do to feel safe.
It's nice to lay on the floor. It kind of helps my lower back.
You do you.
Thank you.
All right. So I just want to kind of look around. Get settled. All right.
Yeah.
So what's our game plan, there, friends?
So to speak.
So to speak. So we need to find what the hell's their name?
What the hell's their name?
Professor.
And Marianne.
Professor Elerra Quavein. How do you pronounce?
Quavein.
Yes, that's the name.
Professor Q.
Professor Q.
Senior Professor X.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Very well then.
So do we want to just go directly to the university, ask around?
Well, why are you going to the professor exactly?
That's a good question.
Well, we have to go there because we have questions
About?
about things.
Some stuff.
So maybe we should think of our what is the word I'm
We're
looking
researching the
interrogation tactics.
I wouldn't say interrogation tactics. We're not here to make enemies. We're here to make friends.
Okay.
I know we need to
Quandary.
Quandary.
We need-
Professor Quandary?
No, it's
No.
It is a quandary.
Yes, we have to think about what our questions would be.
Oh,
So-
good point. Good
Are
point.
we here because the professor knows about the Mala Domini? Is that why we're here? This is above the table. I legitimately don't remember.
I don't remember either.
Okay, so you guys are here because when you were speaking to the Queen of the Vale,
Yes.
you had asked how you can reach out, and she said that she has a spy who is in Phenothia, whose name is Professor Elerra Quavein. and you decided to reach out, sort of see if you can make contact, so that you guys can have a point of communication with her to like sort of exchange messages if needed.
Right.
And then technically, I believe Reggie said she had gone to school with her a brief time ago. So Reggie technically knows her. Or them.
Okay. Right.
Doesn't remember it, but yes.
But yes, but knows.
So
Okay.
we have questions.
Also, will the university have, if we do some research into the Maladomini at the university, is that a potential? It's in my notes. I'm just asking.
What's the Maladomini?
Domini, Domini. That has to do with this whole war. That's like this whole.
Oh. I do know about the war.
Okay, so
You
you
can roll the
just
dice.
hit pass the history check.
Yeah, 17.
Do I know about the war?
All right, so we're gonna go find out about a war. We're gonna speak to a professor about a war.
Or about the Queen of the Vale, anyway.
Yeah.
Or make sure that that's our. Let's try to set up paths of communication.
Very good. I'm just here for the ride, apparently. I don't. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, if y'all are relying on my memory to remember what the fuck we're supposed to do, this is a terrible idea. I'm just telling you.
Listen, Reggie's memory is all of us.
Yes. Reggie is the manifestation of all of our neurodivergence in one person.
I have no clue where my notebooks are for this, so.
Right. I mean, I am impressed with myself
box.
that I wrote down the professor's name. So,
I legitimately had 4 hours of sleep.
yeah.
My notes are in a box somewhere.
We'll do this. We have the DM. Thank God.
Thank God.
Thank God.
All of the Pantheon for Christine right now.
All the Pantheon. All right. Well, let's head to the university, eh?
Could you guys walk a little slower? My legs don't go that fast.
Oh yeah, you want to ride anything? Oh, if you ever get tired.
Oh, I'm never.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just saying, if we have to book it and you can't catch up, I've got this thing called a Bjorn.
No.
And we have fun that ride it all the time. It's really great.
And it's great for a smaller party member who doesn't move as quickly.
I just polymorph into a wolf.
Okay. All right, you do you.
A red wolf.
Wild magic.
Oh shit. Fuck.
Uh-oh. Will it be a wolf?
It's a 5.
Okay.
Are you a wolf or a badger?
I'm a wolf.
Oh. And when you're a wolf, you actually speak.
No, not with polymorph.
Nope.
No.
I'm presuming
Oh,
this
good.
is like a walk and talk sort of thing.
Yes, this is a walk and talk.
Okay, so the university is like, what, according to this map, like 2 blocks away?
Yeah.
So for about half of that walk, you guys have a wolf beside you.
Just to keep up. Half of it. It's good for an hour. Like 2 blocks doesn't take an hour.
No, it takes like 7
Yeah.
minutes.
Yeah.
Alright. Cool, I'm cruising with a wolf. I like this.
And give the wolf a little scritch on the head.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So, you guys are now at the university, which in itself, again, large stone building. This one is a sort of off-white kind of building, I would say. And upon arrival, the large doors, there's like 2 sets of doors for the university. It's got like some large sort of like lockable kind of doors, and then it's got some almost like, you know how like the double doors you kind of get in schools where it's just like the push pull sort of thing. But it's got those sort of doors on the inside of like the initial sort of antechamber, I guess. And heading into the university itself, you're entered to a large hall, which has a set of stairs, sort of going up both sides of you towards like a mezzanine above. The large hall, sort of initially straight across from it, has like a sort of reception office sort of deal there. Which would probably be the best kind of place to find like a directory of employees and courses.
Where they might. Yep.
Yeah.
It looks like there's an info desk we should head
Yeah.
up to.
Let's go ask where the professor's office
Yeah.
is.
So we walk up to the desk. Who's there?
You see that there's a small halfling male who's manning the reception sort of at this time. He does appear, he's got like some kind of glasses that don't have the legs on them, just kind of perched on his nose. Appears to be a little bit older, has a wee bit of a pot belly going on, and his hair is starting to get a little bit thinner and wispier. But still is like it's still dark brown, just it's starting to get a bit thinner on the sides and a bit wispier. And he's just sitting there reading a book. Looks completely and thoroughly engrossed in it. He, as you kind of clear your throats, he almost falls out of his spinning chair because he's startled entirely because he was just completely in his own little literary world, completely away from everybody.
It must be.
How can I help you? Are you inquiring about courses, enrollment, library hours, office hours?
Actually looking for a professor.
2 seconds. We lost Erin.
I am sure she'll be back.
Good. No, it's just so I can make a note. Which professor are you looking for?
Professor
Quavein.
Quavein.
I mean, if you
Sure,
find
that's
her, then you can let her know that we're looking for her as well.
Oh no. Oh no.
She's
Well,
not-
that's not gonna help.
She's not been cited in her office for 6 months.
Oh.
Well, shit. This might be a little out of the ordinary, but would it be possible to take a look at her office?
And unless you've cleared it already.
Unless you cleared it, then of course.
No, it's not
It
been cleared. Authorities and such have been alerted to her being missing. Let me have a little word, see if it's something that you'd be allowed. Do you have any sort of credentials or anything? Like, are you from the local?
So I was just gonna say, as he was talking, I'm gonna like, because we still have like our little
Yeah.
the seal of the queen.
Yes.
I was just gonna, kind of make sure that was visible, and we do work directly for Her Majesty. We would be most obliged if we could just take a quick look.
I didn't realise any of these seals had been issued yet.
Oh, yep. I show mine.
Well-
Yep, we in this group actually have them.
Do you mind if I
And we
see
know.
it?
Sure. I will say, and we know there have, of course, has word spread that, I mean, I assume word spread very quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the new.
About the newest queen.
Mm. Let me see if this is something that we can get security to assist with? And he sort of
Sure,
goes off into the kind of back office area, just kind of leaving you standing there. At the
Just
same...
for your knowledge, Aaron, the professor's been missing for like 6 months.
Oh shit!
So we're gonna take a look. See if we can take.
We're
a look
seeing
into
if we
her
can take a
office.
look in the office.
I hope it's not the people that attacked my wife.
Yeah, that would suck.
I mean, we all went to school together.
Or the people that attacked the queen, or the people that...
This school?
Oh, morning.
Sorry, you froze for us for a second.
I know, my internet's being a dick. It's literally worked all morning. I don't know if my cousin's up and using his... I don't know. But I can't play anywhere else except in my room right now, so... I didn't have enough time to make it to work.
It's okay.
It's all good.
We'll make it work.
Our internet always sucks.
So, did you guys go to this school? You went to school together. What was that?
Hold on.
Flipping through her note.
It was...
Wild magic
I don't think
accidentally
it's here.
cast invisibility on them.
Huh?
Wild magic accidentally cast invisibility on your notes.
I don't think it was here. It's further along in my notes. And it wasn't for very long.
It's okay. We'll
was here. I don't know.
figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Don't worry. I thought maybe you remembered since you remembered going to school together.
I do. It wasn't here. It definitely was not here.
Okay.
What I will say is that you guys remember from your conversation with Queen Farah that the professor is like sort of one of her spy masters. So like any kind of and probably has been for at least a little bit of time. Given the fact that, in fact, roll a history check to see if you guys know this piece of information.
This
And
19. I rolled a 2 on the last one, so I was like, no, I don't remember shit.
Well, I rolled a nat 20, and I rolled a dirty 20.
all right.
Where's this one?
So you guys definitely remember that Queen Farah came to power at the same time that Queen Eleanor came to power. So it was like sort of within like weeks or within like sort of the same kind of like quarter of the year that they sort of rose to power, just sort of in tandem with each other. So if this professor has been with Queen Farah for as a spy master, then it's been at least at some point in the last 12 years that she was appointed.
And I'm sorry, can you bless my brain? Can you remind me what the new queen's name is?
Louise, Luise. And
That's my mom's middle name.
and
I should be able to remember that.
From the play that you went to see with Pandora,
Yes.
you would recognise that, as far as from what I can remember, I'm just bringing it up just now, my family trees, that I'm pretty sure she was named or named very closely after Queen Eleanor's mother, the one who died before she could become queen. It was the illegitimate daughter of the previous queen.
Queen, yes.
Yeah, and also just my halfling is 40 years old.
Okay, cool.
I mean, that's really only like, it's not that old. It's like
Yeah,
25
it's
and 30-ish.
literally, well, probably more so given the fact, well, if we're going Lord of the Rings kind of terms,
Because they live to be
halflings,
150.
halflings, hobbits come of age at the age of 33.
Oh,
So that's like their
halflings
18th birthday. So
Yeah.
so it's roughly kind of around that age. So it's probably like mid kind of 20s at the latest,
Yeah,
or early to mid 20s.
yeah.
Okay,
So, school was a while ago.
yeah, fair wee bit. So sort of tracks, and from what you kind of remember, you don't sort of remember her talking about, like, from the brief kind of flashes that you get in your memory, you don't kind of remember about her talking about anywhere that wasn't Phenothia. So
Yeah. Okay. Philadelphia. Maybe I did go to school.
No. I think so.
So
Lisa?
while Talindra goes off into the back office to sort of contact security, you guys hear via thaumaturgy essentially elevator music.
Oh, lovely.
He comes back through with like a larger sort of orcish, half orcish looking male. Whether we're on that kind of spectrum they lie is a bit sort of obscure, but there definitely is some orcish nature in them. Very largely sort of like 6'4", 6'5" kind of figure, with large kind of broad shoulders.
As my 3-foot self. Oh shit.
And Torin's like, oh, finally somebody taller than me.
It's always a relief when I see
Simone Biles standing next to Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah.
That picture is hilarious.
It's just so funny.
Hopefully that's what it is right now. I'm like, oh, sir.
So, he comes out with Talindra. I hear that you're all inquiring about Professor Quavein, and want to look into her office. Do you mind if I view your credentials?
Yeah, not at all.
By any chance, do you recognize me?
He looks down just at the top of your head with like the massive Merida type hair. I don't think so. I've only been at this university for a year, 2 years.
Oh, yeah. I was here like maybe 20 years ago.
I wonder if they have any yearbooks.
Ooh.
Probably some in the library.
We will.
We'll check it out.
We'll check it out after the office.
But otherwise, I don't have any credentials, no.
But she's with us.
Okay. So do you guys, I guess you hand over your seal
Yeah.
then for inspection? Kind of looks over. You see he pulls out like a sort of monocle. And looks at it through this monocle for about a minute. Nods and hands it back. Very well. Everything seems to be on the up and up. If you follow me, I'll escort you to the office.
Perfect. Thank you very much, sir.
Can I start walking like I know where I'm going because of muscle memory, but actually not know? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like I just start walking in the direction because I know?
Yeah, so you start walking off towards the right. And then you guys see the orc going off towards the left. And realise that Reggie isn't behind you and have to run back and just turn Reggie around.
No. So can I muscle memory know where I'm going
Yeah.
without thinking about it? That's what I meant.
So it's like you're just going, they're going the short route and you're going the long route.
Ah.
Essentially.
Whoa.
Where are you
Reggie,
heading? This way.
Reggie, this.
I think I'm just gonna
Yeah,
I
I
keep
mean-
going. I just have a
Sure.
feeling.
Do you want me to come with you?
Sure.
Oh, all right. I'll follow her.
Okay, so basically, it's kind of like a rectangular building that has got a very small courtyard in the middle.
Pretty.
So you guys are splitting up. Some are going left, some are going right, and where the office is it's at the top of the sort of northwest corner. Right at that corner is where the office is. So Reggie's just going all the way along the back corridor instead of just going the shorter route, essentially. You guys get to the office first, and then about 2 minutes later, Reggie and Torin appear at the office door.
Oh,
Well, it appears you knew where you were going.
I do think I've been here.
Nice.
Weird. I'm definitely missing a lot of this time.
Interesting.
Agreed. Makes note in journal.
This was interesting.
Missing a lot of school time.
Something about the missing just a specific period sort of resonates a wee bit with you, Leaf.
Mm-hmm.
I'll leave it at that. It just sort of resonates a little bit, sort of tweak something in your brain, or stuff that's
In
happened
Leaf or
previously.
mine? In Leaf? Ooh, Leaf. What you got
Yeah,
going
we've-
on, Leaf?
We've already explored this like way back in like session 20 or something.
Oh yeah, there was like a memory thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So something has twigged something.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just sort of, you've got like a little bit of like a niggling feeling that Reggie's missing memories in a portion of time, and it just sort of, because it's and it just sort of reminds you, I guess, that it feels very, very familiar, that feeling.
Yeah, that does feel fun.
Yeah. You guys are all sort of standing outside of this office. It's, in all honesty, thinking back to like the offices that like my professors and tutors and things like that were at in university, it's like those doors that have the glass pane just sort of above it, so you can sort of see when people are in, because you can see the light through, like sort of through it. But it's completely dark on the inside. The orcish gentleman pulls out like a large ring of keys and sort of looks for a specific one. They all look the exact same, but with very minor differences on where the key bit itself is. And then he opens the door for you all into this small sort of room that's got just sort of enough space for a desk that's pushed right the way up against the wall, a chair, like a sort of armchair sort of thing underneath the window that sort of overlooks where the courtyard is, and a large row of bookshelves. And there's sort of like one extra chair, just like just a wooden chair sort of off to the side as well.
Very Spartan.
I assume the bookshelves are full of books, yes?
Oh yeah, full of books. The desk is completely covered with books and scrolls sort of piled on each side. There's an open ink pot, and the ink itself is sort of dried out, and it's got a quill sort of stuck in it as well. It doesn't look as though it's a room that was kind of left with the intent of never coming back.
Right. It was it looks sort of like it was left in the middle of life.
Yeah, it's just frozen in time, the room.
Yeah, like someone walked away to grab lunch and expecting to be back shortly.
Yeah.
Are there any writings in here? There's ink.
Well, does somebody want to tackle the desk, and I'll can someone tackle the bookshelves?
Well, I will happily look at the books. Is there a ladder?
It's sort of, in all honesty, the size of the bookshelf is probably about a similar kind of height as to the, like, a billy bookcase, but it's with the extender on top. So there's the chair beside it to reach the top shelf, but that's really about it.
I'm gonna look at our orcish escort and say, so are we free to look around?
by all means, just understandably don't take anything. Try not to disturb too much in case any investigations need to happen.
We'll try not to touch too much, and things that we do, we'll put back where they were.
We'll be
We're
careful.
pretty savvy investigators.
All right, I'm gonna go for. Do you want to look at the desk or the?
Taking a look at my investigation.
Yep. Anybody who wants to roll investigation, sort of let me know, kind of
I had a
what
+1
you're
to
kind of
investigate.
where you're looking.
I'm gonna look in the desk.
Leaf, would you help me with the bookshelf?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Do you see anything on the top?
18. I also rolled an 18. Investigate.
I don't see anything. What kind of book? Was there any specific one you were after?
Do you see anything on wild magic?
I'll have to do a roll, I think.
I will give you advantage.
Okay. What
Okay.
kind of role will I be looking for?
Investigation.
Investigation. That's it. So that's a 17.
Okay.
I'm gonna use 2 chaos points to roll a d4 and add that to it. That's 1. It's an 18.
All right. So 3
18's all around.
Okay.
Damn it.
So there does appear to be quite a few different kind of. We'll start off with the bookshelf. So there is sort of like a section. As you're looking at this bookcase, it's despite the kind of chaos of the room, because it looks as though it was maybe like in the middle of like something being investigated or studied. So there's books and everything piled up for part of those studies, but everything else is really well organized. So the bookshelves are sort of separated out into like different topics, and then within those topics they are alphabetized by author surname. So very sort of meticulously sort of organized there. There does appear to be a small section on wild magic, its effects, how, and sort of the origins of wild magic. So there is, I would say, 4 books on that in this section.
Can I take them out and look to see if there's any notes or citations or anything through them?
Yeah. Roll an investigation check on it to see if you see anything.
Oh shit, that doesn't count. It hit my boob.
Interference.
Ooh. I think I have a +2, so hold on. Yes! 18, 19.
Okay. Looking at the books, you can see that from the very front page, like sort of the like title page, where people typically tend to write the property of Professor Quavein, for example. It does appear to have a name originally before hers, that's just been very lightly kind of scored out and then her name put underneath. Looking through it, you do see that there are some kind of annotations about sort of wild magic originating from a time prior to sort of the widespread religion and sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Reverence and sort of praying to the gods. So the wild magic, there is some theories that it comes from a time before they were sort of preached essentially and prayed towards and things like that. There does also kind of seem to be a few notes in relation to the fact that individuals with wild magic, if they can't learn to control them, the wild magic does eventually become too chaotic and overtake, essentially.
Ruh-roh.
They all appear to be in the writing of the original sort of owner of the book, not from Professor Quavein.
Is there any way to see what the original name was?
Yeah, very, very easily. It does say that the original owner was a Tanis, Professor Tanis, but it doesn't have a first name.
Professor Tanis.
So whether she got this from somebody who was maybe in the position prior to her, or she's bought it elsewhere, or anything like that, you don't know.
Saying and.
And then, are there any books missing?
There are spaces where it appears as though the book should be on the bookcase, where they've kind of sort of tipped on a diagonal. But there's only maybe about 7 or 8 that seem to be missing.
And they're not any of the ones that are like in the room already?
Appears as though there's about 7 or 8 books that are sort of on the shelf with the scrolls.
So nothing else is missing.
Yeah.
Alright, what do we find at the desk?
Okay. At the desk you find that there are some musings on some new research that she is looking into. Nothing sort of in relation to wild magic. The books that are out are sort of looking more so at geography of both Phenothia and of the Vale, but they're also looking at the history of other continents in the world. So it seems as though maybe she's sort of exploring, maybe from what you get from the notes themselves, they just seem to be kind of notes on similarities between the sort of the Vale and Phenothia and all the other sort of continents and countries that are sort of noted in these books anyway. There's a little bit sort of their topography, a little bit of their history, and the sort of who's kind of worshipped and where.
Maybe their other side is trying to use these things as an advantage? I don't know. Not really.
Is there anything in the drawers? Are there any locked drawers? Is there maybe any little secret panel, like tapping around? Is there anything like a drawer that looks like it should be deeper than it is?
It looks as though it's a bog standard kind of university desk. It's just be like the general kind of issued one that's sort of provided
In every
yeah. It's been provided by like janitorial kind of services sort of thing. Looking in the drawers, the kind of theme of everything being meticulously organized does follow on, like all of the inkwells. There's about 4 spare inkwells, and they are all lined up towards like the left hand side of the drawer. There's 3 separate quills of like various different like nib types that are within like a little tray, and they are all like spaced out and have their own kind of sections. So you do kind of get that Professor Quavein is definitely like a type A type person. Very into organisation, and everything has its place and it has to be in that place.
I do really love this. I'm going to cast Detect Magic to see if there's anything magically being concealed.
Go for it. Not in this office. You don't get a sense of magic from this office. Everything it does sort of seem to be a bit, at least here, is probably a lot more theory based. And musings and writings and things like that.
So I'm going to ask: is there like some sort of private area for the teachers? Maybe this isn't the only area that she really used primarily. Is there a second location of sorts, or even I don't know. I want to say like a teacher's lounge wouldn't quite be it, but is there like a private study locker room, something of that sort for teachers?
I also was going to cast Detect Evil and Good
Okay.
All right.
Where's
Also,
uh-huh.
can I just start pulling books to see if any of them open a secret compartment? I'm just like,
Okay. In terms of we'll do the detective evil and good first. You don't.
So that's Evolution, Celestial, Elemental, Fey, Fiend, or Undead within 30 feet. We'll also let you know if a place or object within 30 feet of you has been magically consecrated or desecrated.
Yeah.
The spell can penetrate most barriers, but is blocked by 1 foot of stone, 1 inch of common metal, or a thin sheet of lead, or 3 feet of wood and dirt.
That's what my detect magic did, yeah.
Yeah. Nothing like that sort of pings on your radar.
Okay.
Where did she reside? Did she live on campus or off campus?
All of our teachers and professors reside off campus. We can see if at reception if they have access to the records for the personal records for the professors and such, and see if they can get an address for you.
That
That'd
would
be great.
be extremely helpful.
Very helpful.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I kind of think this place is just not doing
pulling
its
books.
Yeah. Not pulling books and things like that. Not you're sort of like going like this and things like that and taking them out fully and putting them back. Nothing seems to trigger any like hidden doors, traps, bookcases don't move. There's nothing hidden
I always
behind
wanted
the
to find a
books.
hidden passage. I always wanted to find a hidden passage. You know, they're fun and they're mysterious.
Oh.
And it's like exciting.
Yeah, secret tunnel.
Secret.
Why not? If you have a bookshelf, why not have a secret passage?
Why not hide
Why
something
not?
behind it? I agree.
I agreed. I have another question. Was there anybody here that a staff, perhaps that she was close to, some type of confidant of some sort?
I wouldn't know in regards to that. I'm not part of the faculty itself. I work with security.
Is there noticed she was missing?
We noticed she was missing not too long before exam season was due to begin. So around
Bad timing.
March kind of time.
Maybe it's just the kid who didn't fail.
It was more so her students that noticed when there was a couple of classes she didn't turn up to and wasn't there in her office for questions and study.
Oh boy.
Is there a Professor Tanis at the university anywhere?
Not anymore. He died 20 years ago.
Oh my.
I was here.
All right.
Well, that explains where she got the books.
How about we head over to like a teacher's lounge? If there is, I'm sure there is. Maybe we could find
Ask
somebody
around?
there. Ask it. Yeah.
There's more so kind of like a, not necessarily teacher's lounge, but like a sort of canteen area. Or where there's like a, not necessarily a chef, but there's a cook who sort of prepares meals and things like that for the faculty.
Oh, that'll. Maybe we can get a snack. All right, sounds good. Yeah, that way.
Okay.
I'm feeling a mite peckish there.
I am feeling a bit peckish. I could use a pickup, like maybe a nice hot cup of something.
I mean, when was the last time we ate?
Probably
I don't know.
before you guys left your camp, it'd probably be a bit closer to like maybe 5 hours ago at this point, so about mid-afternoon.
Yeah,
Mid to
food
late
is probably
afternoon.
needed.
Yeah.
You go for a cup of something and some pocket bacon.
So heading
Some
to the canteen, Leaf actually would probably, well, not necessarily for this sort of university, Leaf would know, but walking around, it's very quiet. Thinking to the sort of time of year that it is, you guess that classes haven't quite started back up yet. So there's not very many faculty members about. No students really at all, except from those that are kind of very, very eager or who are doing private sort of studies, who've sort of came back early or stayed over the sort of summer months. You only, in the canteen sort of area, you find like 2 faculty members who are just talking to each other. They have them like, sort of like a cup of tea in front of each of them.
Oh, here we go.
Well, I'm going to walk up to the 2 faculty members very politely. I hate to bother you. I apologize for interrupting your conversation. We're doing a bit of investigating, and I'm just wondering if either of you knew or know
Professor Q.
Professor. I know. How do you pronounce her name? Seriously.
Professor Q.
Quavein.
Quavein.
Vein as in like your like veins in a. It's so
Like Quavein. Okay.
yeah.
Quavein.
Gotcha. All
Write
right.
that down. Quavein.
Vein.
Rico Quave.
Sure, if you
Did you know her at all?
Did you know Professor Quavein at all? Know her well?
She turned up for Christmas parties, or well, wouldn't be Christmas, but you know what I mean. She turned up for seasonal parties, and the end of year cocktail event. Apart from that, kept herself to herself. We didn't really see her too much.
What did she teach? Actually, what was her field that she taught in?
She was more interested in the theory of magic and its uses rather than the physical application of it.
Oh, a theologist. Okay.
Magical theory. Okay.
Ooh. I bet she went down some rabbit holes. Probably saw something she shouldn't have. Maybe got involved in some kind of investigative cult kind of situation.
You
I
have
don't
a thing for cults.
I do like the cult.
My wife did similar studies. This is concerning.
Ah, see, I knew this might be leading somewhere.
Yeah.
Just because you think there's some kind of, I mean, you never know. You just never know.
There's
Never know.
something fishy going on.
Something's afoot, or a hand,
Or a
something.
leg.
Underneath even.
Where's a foot?
Or a leg. Or a head. Or a body.
Right?
Yes.
There's something.
Something's a torso.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I mean, I appreciate it. I hope you have a great afternoon. And I head out of the room.
I stay back. How long have you been teaching here?
34, 29 years. Sort of say, like, pointing to each of them.
Oh, it's a weird. Do you recognize me at all? Or maybe my wife, her name was Adeline. The name. She was an elf.
Nothing comes to mind. What did she study and when? Was she?
Same magical theory as well, actually. She didn't stay here very long. We left pretty after graduation, I think.
I see.
Not sure.
We're more interested in the artistic, in terms of more linguistic applications and language study.
Okay. And I craft a flower and hand them one. Have a lovely day.
All right.
All right. Well, I've head down to reception already, and I'm inquiring about her home location.
Okay. So heading down there, you see that the reception area, the book and things like that have now been put away, and the gentleman who was there is no longer there.
Damn it.
Can I? Is there anyone else in the room?
There's the orc, who's still there at security. That's really about it.
Now what?
If I was River, I would sneak that fucking book and steal it.
But sadly, no one has good stealth. I mean, my stealth.
I was going to ask him what he was reading because I want to know.
I actually have okay stealth, but I have shit. No, I have okay sleight of hand.
I have
Yeah,
I only have just two.
And though.
I really wish I had invisibility.
So everything's put away. They're gone. Now what?
I just want to see who else is signed into that book.
I mean,
Could you maybe
oh, I thought I had Pass Without Trace, like one of those.
I have nothing to help me hide. I mean, I have a +6, which isn't bad, but it's not.
Oh no, I do have Pass Without Trace.
No.
Well,
Well,
we could just ask to see it, maybe.
I mean, we could.
I love the fact that I haven't asked that. River wouldn't have asked that.
well, I turn to the book there and I say, is there any chance that we could take a look at the login book?
It's like, no.
Also, where
It would really be helpful.
Do we know where our halfling friend went?
I'm right here.
Right there.
She's with us.
The one behind the desk.
Oh,
Not you, Jar. I know you're here. The one who was sitting there before.
Guessing the time of day that it is, you realise he's probably finished for the day.
oh,
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah.
So,
you
big
guys
guy,
can try
take a
again
look at
tomorrow if you want, or...
We just gotta
Okay,
look at the book.
We're just going to look at the book.
Is the book like on the desk, or is
No.
it like no?
No.
I just look at him and get sad eyes. It'll be real quick. We're not going to take it or anything. We just would like to look at it. It would help us right now if at all possible. Please?
The book that he was reading?
Yeah, I don't think that was a logbook. He
logbook.
was.
I thought there was a login book.
No, he was reading a book.
No, that was.
Oh,
That was
yeah.
at the. That was at the inn where there was a ledger on the counter. Was at the inn.
Oh. Well, yes, I'd like to know what book he was reading then.
Okay.
I do. I want to know what book he was reading.
So, only because I saw this the other day in the works. It's a book called Done and Dusted.
Oh.
Which, looking at the front of it, I can...
Is it a Goddess Ripper? Was he reading a romance?
Yeah, he's reading a romance novel.
Oh.
Perfect.
Excellent.
I might have read that at some point, but I don't remember.
Well, now what?
Well,
Hmm.
I mean,
What would the time be now? Like in the day?
It's
Like
like sort of early evening.
I mean, probably goes based on logic. We should probably go to the house because the longer we wait to go to the house, something could change.
yeah.
right, but we don't know where her house is.
We have no clue.
They told us.
No, the
No.
halfling left.
Bitch.
Best we can do is go back to our hotel, have something to eat, have a drink.
Hey, Reggie.
Reggie? Yeah?
So when we were headed to the office, you headed off to the office like you knew where it was.
Yeah, it was just like kind of like a,
If we were to like say another destination and just follow you,
you mean Q's house?
like let's go to the library.
Well, the library is very different than Q's house.
Oh,
How so?
Well, because the library is where you go to study and there's books and Q's house is-
Yeah. Fair. You know how to get there?
we know how to get there.
the disadvantage, I rolled a 19 and a 3. So, as my thought process is, I don't know. But I could just try walking and see what happens.
Just try walking.
Let's just walk around,
Let's
man.
just walk around.
Walk around.
Take us to the library.
Yeah.
To the library?
I mean, wherever,
I definitely would have been to the library many times.
Right.
right? And this could be like a pin the tail on the donkey kind of situation. Where you just meander about until you feel a pull to go somewhere.
All right, so I stand outside of the school and I just kind of close my eyes. And I'm just going to start walking in a direction.
Okay.
So you start walking around the square.
I'm going to try to figure out what feels I'm just going to close, like, just go. Like when you wake up in the morning and you realize you got to work, but you don't really know how you got to work.
Yep.
Yeah, just
Yep.
autopilot. You just start walking around the square a couple times, and each time you just start coming back towards the university and just stopping. And you're like, that's not where I'm meant to be, and then you just walk around again. But you just keep ending up back at the university.
Well, right, but we want to go to the library. The whole point was to follow her to the library.
Yeah, I'm going to walk out of the university.
Yeah.
The library is in the university, I assume.
Yeah.
University library.
Oh, yes, that makes sense. Should I try it with Q's house?
I mean, maybe since your wife and she had the same studies, maybe they were friendly and got together. Maybe.
Let's see. It seems like
Speaking of that.
nothing. It seems like they might have known each other. They were working in the same
colleagues,
circle.
you know, or some
Yeah.
sort.
It does feel very comfortable calling them Q. Okay.
All right.
Okay, yeah.
Alright.
Okay.
So you start walking, and you're just like walking sort of up one street, down another street, around one block, and then you backtrack and go around a different block until you end up outside of like a 4-story kind of like apartment kind of complex in the Stormfire Gate district. What I'll say is this kind of district, everything just sort of has a feel of like ash in the air, even though like the air is clear, it just sort of feels like that kind of heavy. It still carries like a bit of a charred kind of smell, even though everything here now is brick. And the roads themselves, it is still like the black scorched earth.
It's like
Can
being
I see
in
if the
that
smell
part of Boston.
memories?
It's like being in that part of Boston where they had
Yeah.
the massive molasses flood
Yep.
back in the 1800s, and if it's hot enough out, you can vaguely smell molasses still. Yeah, it's like that.
Yeah, like the land carries the scar.
Hmm.
Can I see if the smell triggers any kind of recognition?
In terms of where they live?
Even going, oh, I think I've been here.
Well, I mean, you've stopped sort of outside of this, and
Excuse me.
So- not necessarily like the building itself, but it's more so just like distinct features of like the architecture, like on the sort of roof or near roof area. It's not necessarily gargoyles, but it does have like some kind of like dragon motif decor up there, which is very familiar.
I think I've been here. Is there a gate or a code or some kind of, or is it just open?
It's just an open kind of door. It does have like a sort of list like of who kind of lives there, but there's obviously no kind of buttons or anything like that to call or anything. There's just like a list.
Does it have like the room, like the room number?
Yeah,
Or next to it?
yeah, it's got like G1 through 4, all the way up to like 4, 1, 4, 2, 4, 3, 4, 4 sort of thing. So it does appear
Right.
there's like 16 kind of small kind of flats in this building.
Do we see her name?
No.
Do any names look familiar?
There appears to be one. Dorota. Is mentioned there. That you sort of recognise, but there's nothing else that sort of has any kind of recognition there.
We could just go up. I don't. This name here is kind of, but I don't know. I don't see anything in my notes about this name. Nothing from this time. We originally thought that there was no target to my memory. That it just. I'm starting to think maybe there was.
It does seem that way. Well, do we want to go to the room, go knock on the door of the name you vaguely recognize?
Sure. How bad could that be?
It's as good a lead as any.
That's true.
Okay, so you go up to the second floor, and it's I'll say that it's a second, so 212, and you knock on the door. It's got like a sort of flower pot outside, but the flowers are all kind of started to, like they're kind of withered. It looks quite dry, like it's probably not been watered or seen a lot of sun in a little bit of time. And there's some mail, kind of like some letters that are just piled sort of outside the door.
Oh, this could be maybe it.
This could.
Sure seems like it.
Sure seems like it. Is the door locked?
No.
Excellent. I'm going to kind of open the door and kind of do a soft, like, knock knock as I'm opening the door.
Okay. Opening the door, you see sort of inside. It's sort of like a 2-room only kind of thing. Sort of flat, like it's got like a kind of main living area with like a kitchen and a sort of living space, with a sort of bedroom off to the side. Yeah, really kind of not extremely small, but like for sort of buildings like this, indoor plumbing is probably not necessarily a thing. And these kind of older buildings were probably reconstructed right after the fire. You see that there's like a very old looking human female sort of sitting on like the lone sort of sitting armchair in the living space, big massive milk bottle glasses and frizzy sort of white hair. She's slowly starting to stand up.
Oh, no need to get up. You said there was a pile of mail by the door?
Yeah, there's a couple of letters sort of there. It looks as though she's probably not just quite as mobile and sort of relies on visitors.
Yeah,
bringing
so
stuff
I'm just gonna pick them up off the floor, and I'm gonna say, I saw these in the hall. I thought you might, it might be helpful to bring them in.
Thank you, my dear. If you can sit them on that table there, and she sort of like just collapses back in the chair as if like all the energy that she had was just used in the sort of getting to halfway standing.
Were there any interesting names on the letters, Tix?
Yeah. Is there anything I recognize on the letters? As I'm setting.
They all just seem to be addressed to her at her address. There's nothing sort of like they're all in envelopes.
There's no special seal on any of them.
No.
Or any, interesting return addresses or anything.
No, nothing like that.
Okay. I'm gonna say, my name's Marshall, and you are.
Oh, I'm Madame Dorota.
Dorota.
Madame Dorota.
Do you like sort out all the rotas in your shop?
No, I never owned a shop.
Oh, because it's not a shop.
Would it be too much trouble if I just had a seat to chat for a minute?
Of course, I don't get too many visitors.
This may seem like a really odd question.
Okay.
Do you recognize my halfling companion there? Does she look familiar to you?
She sort of like looks at you, takes her glasses off and cleans them and puts them back on and looks at you again and sort of squints through them. There's something about your hair that's familiar.
Hey,
You were always here with 2 other people.
yes.
You wouldn't happen to know those 2 other people, would you?
Like waiting with bated breath.
I haven't seen one of them since you left. The other one in 15 years? Give or take. My memory's a bit fuzzy now.
Can I do an insight check?
Sure.
I'm gonna use sorcery point to re-roll that.
Okay.
It was a 4. 21. I can mark down my sorcery point.
Okay. So, very easy to sort of understand that the first person that they are alluding to
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
you.
Addie.
And yeah, the other person obviously would be sort of Professor Elerra. 15 years ago, you would sort of surmise that they probably moved and sort of maybe moved, from what you've kind of learned, maybe sort of moved on from this city onto other research, and sort of left this address at that point.
But is this person... I just want to know if this person... I don't even know. What did we come here to do?
You would pop in every so often here and have a chat. The other one lived on the 4th floor for a time.
4th? But she hasn't... She worked here for until recently, right? Why did she stop coming to see you?
I didn't notice that she started working here again. She says that she was moving back home.
Who?
She didn't say where she was from, mind you, but she said that she was moving back home.
She just picked up out of nowhere and said she was going home.
Did we have classes together? Is that how we knew you?
Oh no, you just knew me because she lived here and she would pop in. She was a very sweet person.
So she moved out of this building 15 years ago.
Yes.
But lived on the 4th floor for a little while?
Yeah, she lived on the 4th floor when she lived here in this building.
And you guys were just friends because you lived in the same building?
Yeah. All
What
right.
did
And
we
she
talk
said-
about?
Well, sometimes she would bring me some pastries and cakes from the bakery, and we'd have some tea, and sometimes you and the other one were there as well. I can't remember everyone's names.
Ready.
She would stop by and bring in any mail, and every so often she found a book that she thought that I might like, so she'd pop in with that.
Has anyone else come asking?
Not that I can think of. Is she in trouble?
We're hoping not. We're just trying to track her down and proving to be a bit elusive.
Well, I didn't even know she was back in the city, so I thought maybe if she was here that she'd pop by, but you never know.
More questions. More questions. More questions. Oh, well. And I'm sorry, we didn't. What's your name?
Madame Dorota.
Madam Dorota.
Yeah, I have no more questions.
We already asked her name at the beginning.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
It's okay.
You understand.
All right. Well,
Yep.
well, damn.
Hmm.
Do you know of any other friends that might have come with us? Ever? Or did we talk about family or friends in town?
No. Not that I can remember. This was quite a few years ago, so my memory's not quite as sharp anymore.
True.
But
Can I get a sense of any kind of magic or anything that might have been used on this woman?
sure, roll an Arcana check, I guess.
Yeah.
But I will say she looks as though she's probably in like her late 80s, early
Yeah.
90s sort of deal.
Dirty 20.
Yeah. No kind of like magical
Yeah.
essence you get that any kind of memory issues and that is just from general old age.
Yeah. All right, well, Doris, yes, have a good day. I just walk out, not like rudely, but like, hey, bye.
Thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it.
Yep.
On my way out, I'm gonna use Druidcraft to make the plants that are in the outside bloom again.
Okay.
Yep. Thank you, lady.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Bye.
Well, so walk out into the street again and go, well, shit.
Should we check the 4th floor?
It was 15 years ago.
20.
Well, I mean that she left. It was
Left, yeah. 5 after I left.
That's a long time. I mean, it can't hurt, but I don't know what would still be there.
I mean, what if she came back and she just didn't tell this lady? I don't know.
I think she noticed.
I can't imagine she lived in the same. She was very kind to this old woman. I can't imagine that she would live in the same building and just never go visit again.
Maybe she is the old one.
It's true.
You weirdo.
Maybe she is the old
Okay,
one.
so do we just call it a wash and go have dinner and go back to the university in the morning when we can talk?
Dude, couldn't you do the woman?
I'm in need of a pint. I still don't know that I can't get drunk.
So do we just want to go back to the inn, have a good meal, maybe some room service,
Yeah, always.
get a good night's sleep in a bed. Oh God,
Be lovely.
and go back to the university in the morning and see if we can get her current address.
Mm-hmm.
Because otherwise, I feel like we're just spitting into the wind.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. Which is quite gross.
Yeah, it is quite gross, actually. That's a gross metaphor. You're right.
It's almost as bad as peeing in the wind.
Yeah, they're both gross. Whoa. Dude, too much light. What are you doing? Thank you.
I know at one point I looked up like this and my blinds, the sun was just, I was like, oh, I'm blinded. All right,
So we make our way back to the Barbarian Arms.
Making our way back to the
so Leaf, where are you from anyway?
Me?
I said Leaf.
Oh, me.
Hmm.
I'm from a faraway.
Do you want the world map up?
Yeah.
Slipping through my back.
2 minutes while because it's no longer on here, so I know where it is.
I know
where
like
it is.
one specific map really.
Sorry, I was trying to make small talk as we walked.
Where's
One
my
map I know really well, and then other maps I'm like, wait, we're here, and that's here, and that's. I know I'm like somewhere up there. When I see it,
Up there.
Okay.
when I see it, I'll be like, I think I know. Oh, it's the loading. Am I not near Istradel or something?
Yeah, you're from Australia.
Istradel. Yeah, that was it. As soon as I saw the map, I was like, it came back to me. Yes. Okay. Well, I'm from is that how I pronounce it?
Yeah.
Istradel. Yeah. I'm from Istradel in a nice forest land.
Lovely.
So
I love the forest.
don't know if that's close to where you're from.
Do you remember where you're from?
Yeah, do you remember where you're from?
I'm actually not far from that area because I live in a heavily wooded area as well.
Okay.
And I think I picked that area not knowing that's where you're from. When I made Reggie for this campaign, I literally think I'm from that area.
Are you from? Is it Ouverville? Because that's, I think, another wooded area.
So
So
let me look up.
Ouverville's sort of more like a sort of grassland kind of area.
Yeah, I'm from like woods.
Yeah.
I grew up in the woods.
You're near Ostradel as well. Ooh,
I
interesting.
grew up with druids.
Mm.
Sorry, Ethan.
No, it's okay.
We were a small group. We kind of it was me and my ma and hold on. Oh yes, and about 3 druids. What are their names? Oh, there it is. Oh yes. We called him. This is funny. We called him Stinky, but his name was Sir Tangelin, I think. And then it was just a small group. We left. We kind of roamed a lot, but mostly stayed to the woods to ourselves.
Mhm.
I was the first one actually to go to school from my community.
Oh, wow.
Interesting. DM, would I be able to know about any kind of person who'd been taken in by some druids in that area?
It was just a hodgepodge. There was a couple of druids. There were a couple of it was just a hodgepodge of people that found each other. My mom, Reggie's mother, was a wanderer, and when she had me, she had to find a group of people, and she found this group of people, and we just we were a bunch of hermits.
Oh, okay.
And then I left because I had wild magic, and no one else around me did, and I had to figure out what the fuck was going on.
I wonder if anyone in where I live would have known or heard of these hermits.
Don't know. You need to go there. And
We
find
probably
out.
were really weird to other people.
I need to go there.
Yeah.
Oh, just be careful. They're welcoming once they know you mean no harm, of course, but they're a little jumpy. Sometimes.
Do they know? Do they know that you have like memory issues?
Oh, I haven't been back home since I left from school.
Oh.
I mean,
Bad blood?
I have lots of time. It's only been a short, 20 so years.
Yeah. I don't know if we're ever going to go back in that direction. I don't know.
Actually, I will.
Because are we not? I'm trying to think. Where are we just now? Are we near Arkgate? No.
No, so you
No,
guys are
we're
down in Ouverville,
down in
which
Ouverville.
is here.
Oh wow. Okay. We are.
They were at my wedding, I believe. Yes, they were at my wedding. So it's not like we have no communication. They came to see me, of course. But I haven't been back to the woods in a while. I do miss it.
Would you ever consider if I was going back at all, would you want to come along that way?
I mean, sure, but I have a lot to figure out first.
Fair enough. I mean, I'm in no hurry to go home either, so.
Yeah. They're lovely individuals. You know, it's like that family that you're just like, yeah, I love you, but like, better without you, kind of. Yeah.
Interesting. I'm just even more perplexed. Like, I'm just very confused by Reggie's, like, thinking.
Deal.
The
Yeah.
process would be because I've lost certain memories, especially school time memories. I feel like I've lost a lot of memories where I'm as connected to them as I think I am, so my connection is not like strong right now.
Makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I've had some memory issues, I think. There's things that just are blurry, and I just don't quite know what they are.
Oh. There are ways you can kind of get them back. I stopped because but there are ways. You just have to find the right people, unless you, of course, you don't care. And then, whatever.
Takes a note of like what Reggie said, and like puts it in a pocket.
There's this a lovely man. He's a wizard, maybe. I don't really remember, but he can kind of look into your head.
I don't know if I'd want anyone looking in my head though.
Yeah, it's a little weird, a little intrusive.
Yeah.
It's not
It's not really kind of my vibe, I don't think.
Maybe something will trigger it. I find that sometimes smells, places, people trigger certain memories.
Interesting. But yeah, I'm from that kind of area, very wooded. So I tend to prefer wooded areas and forests when we're out and about. That's why I like it when we're near like trees or like where we have our house, because there's a nice tree beside it.
Yes, understandable, of course. Yes.
I mean, I don't know if you're trying to not interrogate us, but like find out.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm not very good at it, I guess. I was just making small talk as we walk. And I'm only writing it down so I don't forget, not to like keep notes. Well, yeah, I guess it is to keep notes, but only because I just can't remember everything sometimes, especially if I get baffled, or not baffled, what's the word? Overwhelmed.
That's fair enough.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That makes total sense. I understand that completely.
Reggie is all of us. Reggie is all of us. Reggie is all of us.
So where are we off to now then?
We were going back to the inn.
Yeah.
Have dinner.
Good idea.
Have dinner. Chill out until we can get more information in the morning when people are about.
Yeah.
Because otherwise as I said, I made a gross metaphor, and we don't need to do that.
So you should try the stew. It's really good here.
Oh, okay.
What?
Try the stew. It's really good here, apparently.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Just random shit.
I could go for some stew and
Good crusty bread.
a goblet of wine. That sounds good. And then like a bath and a good sleep.
Yeah. I am on board for all of those things in that order.
Yeah.
Yes.
Alright, so are you guys having dinner in your room, or are you having dinner in the dining room?
Maybe you should dine in the dining room. We might catch some conversation.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Let's dine in the dining room.
I'm in the dining room.
Okay, so where the tavern sort of bit was, you guys see that there's like a large kind of archway just as soon as you go in the door that you didn't sort of clock, because you saw immediately that there was a sort of someone behind the bar with a ledger. But there is like a nice sort of dining room area that has about 12 tables set up to seat various different sized groups. And it sort of doesn't necessarily look as though it's like sort of like gold star kind of service, but from what you can see from everybody else who's already kind of in there, there's like some kind of waiters who appear to be wearing like a uniform and things like that, like 2 people serving food. It does appear as though it is definitely a bit more of an upmarket kind of place as well in terms of eating, with various different like nice china plates. There's like some nice glass kind of wine glasses and brandy glasses, all different sorts of types of glasses that are there in front of people already enjoying their evening meal. Taken over to a table for 4, and a bucket of ice is sort of placed in front of, or to the side of the table, where a bottle is placed for you for your meal, and a 4-course dinner is served with like an amuse-bouche to begin, before you have your starter and things like that. So it's nice, classic
I love this
kind
bowl.
of meal.
I made such good choices. I love this one.
There's like
Just out of curiosity,
Mhm.
because this is like within a pretty short walk from my like stomping grounds, like is there
Yes.
anyone around that I recognize, that looks familiar, that I should avoid?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Let me bring up the world map again, just so I can sort of just have a nosy at it again.
Yeah, that is about 2 days travel from.
Yeah. Yeah, it's about like not necessarily from where you're from, but there's certainly
We're close enough that I might be a
Yeah.
little nervous. It's probably the closest I've been in a long time.
yeah. There's definitely some faces that you recognize in passing, but not like immediate kind of recognition, like people who are probably
Gotcha.
like they're like children of maybe people that you'd encountered before, sort of from Arkgate. So there's like a familial resonance there, but nothing that sort of says, oh, this is this person sort of deal.
Right.
They're probably related to them.
Cool. Probably good that I chose a different, different face. And I'm gonna enjoy my stew.
Tom is ready.
Oh, okay. We're gonna have to go.
Yeah, that's fine because you guys are enjoying an evening meal, so yeah.
I will say I drink some alcohol and don't do anything.
Evening meal and a long rest. Can we mark down a long rest?
Yeah, you can have a long rest.
Yeah.
Only because I used a spell slot, so.
Yeah, you guys can have a long rest. We'll say that you enjoy a nice, refreshing evening here, in your penthouse suite that's got like 2 different bedrooms. They have like 3 beds in them, sort of deal in a central living area and indoor plumbing.
I'm just telling you guys, I feel like their alcohol used to be so much stronger. I'm not feeling in it.
Well, maybe we'll just have to fill you full of a little more and find out. Also, so there's indoor plumbing. Does that mean there's a bath?
Yes.
Awesome. That's what I'm up for.